Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Believe in Utes. It's been a while. I know. I keep saying this. I keep going through these little spurts where I don't post or upload onto YouTube for a while. And then I come back and I say, sorry, it's been a while. Um, let's keep it short and simple. A lot of you, if this is the first time tuning in, this is a Utah show, all things Utah athletics, basketball, football, gymnastics, tennis, you name it. Specifically a little bit more football and basketball oriented, but nevertheless supporting all of our Utes here on this channel. I have not uploaded in quite some time because I started a brand new full-time job. And in the meantime, as I was starting this brand new full-time position, I started helping a friend of mine grow a startup that we have just now gotten funded. So lots of moving parts in my life. And to be quite honest, the reason that I would hesitate to make content on here and upload videos onto YouTube and stuff like that is technology. My computer sucks. I am a recent college grad. Economy's not great. Haven't gotten a new laptop yet. And every time I would go to record, things just did not operate properly and made it super frustrating and painful. So that's why I'm rocking it with the lower quality right now. I still got the podcast mic, so hopefully I sound okay on your end. But I'm just recording off the old FaceTime camera here. I used to have the stream camera, and it would crash my computer every time. So anyway, we're back, folks. Let's stop with the chit chat. Let's stop. I got to stop yapping. Let's get into Utah football. I believe the last time I checked in here on Believe in Utes, fall camp was right around the corner, and I had made a few bold predictions. One of my predictions that I so vividly remember was the one that stated that my good friend Micah Bernard would establish himself as RB1, and I made that prediction with a pretty educated level head on my shoulders, because knowing Micah at the level that I know Micah, it's a very personal level. He's one of my best friends for life. Let's put it that way. The dude's probably going to be in my wedding. And just knowing what he's gone through season in and season out, and the close reach that the true opportunity has been within, but never quite being able to grab it and seize it due to potentially injuries, due to, somebody else maybe breaking out and being the so-called star. A lot of ups and downs from Micah, but there was always one thing that every Utah fan could see, and I always appreciated this about the Utah community because they always recognized this with Micah. Micah Bernard is a difference maker when he's in. He has been making difference maker level plays for years now. Started back in that BYU game, right? 2021 BYU game. Charlie Brewer at quarterback, a little bit brutal. Micah Bernard was the spotlight in that game, had some nice breakout runs. Flash forward to some memories like the Rose Bowl catch against Ohio State. That's a difference-making play that started us off early and strong in that game. Regardless of the memory you could name here with Micah Bernard, he has consistently contributed to the Utes in ways that not a lot of other players have, right? As far as team morale, he's always the first guy out of the tunnel, that sort of thing. Knowing the offense and coaching everybody up. If there was somebody who was new to the position or even new to college football, Micah was always in there coaching them up on the offense, telling them exactly how to make the right reads according to how the coaches want it. Knows the playbook like the back of his hand. And he's freaking talented, man. He's fast. He's quick. He makes one cut and hits the hole and gets out of there. And I've seen it. I know he's capable because he knows he's capable. And so for years, I've just been waiting for this opportunity for Micah to be able to go out and establish himself as the clear RB1. And now he's top 7 in the nation in rushing yards. I believe I haven't checked after Arizona. Honestly, I kind of turned off social media for a while. But still, regardless, top 1 or 2 in the Big 12. He's just dogging. And honestly, not a very fair share of opportunity for him in that Arizona game at home. I thought his utilization was poor on the coaching behalf. And, I might be a little bit biased in that, but also I just think there was a lot of opportunities where it felt like he was due for a carry to get the offense moving as he's been doing all season. And it wasn't that. It was a designed QB run that, we haven't been running any designed QB runs with Isaac in there. So I just thought the utilization of Micah was off. For lack of a better term, I just think it was off. I don't think that he was getting the ball when he should have. I thought that 4th and 2 on the goal line, I thought that was an automatic handoff to Micah. Let him power in there, truly establish himself as an all-down back, right? Third down, first down, short yardage, goal line. He can do it all. And for some reason, I feel like this coaching staff has not taken that final step of trusting him in every single situation. So I would like to see better utilization. He needs to get those touchdown numbers up in order to just further that draft stock and make a stronger case for the league. So I had to start with Micah Bernard again. He's one of my best friends, and it's just really awesome to see him capturing this opportunity. But outside of Micah, we've had some really, really huge difference makers on both sides of the ball. I want to do a kind of a mini crash course through this real quick. So I'm just going to list them real quick off the top of my head on who comes to mind as far as true difference makers on this team so far up until this point after the Arizona game. So going to start off Dorian Singer, obviously dog. Not much more needs to be said. I could tell he was a dog as soon as I watched his tape from Arizona in his, what was that, freshman or sophomore season where he went off for over 1,000 yards. I was like, oh, this dude is a dog. I'm talking to Kai. I'm like, yo, Kai, like this dude was dogging. Like, is he a dog? He's like, oh, he's a dog. So dog, all that needs to be said. Possibly the greatest receiver we've ever seen at Utah. Don't call me crazy because that's not a crazy take. I think he is making a case right now for one of, if not the greatest receivers we have ever seen at Utah. Now, obviously, don't come after me. I know we had Steve Smith and even Devon Vele. I'm a huge Vele fan. Like those types of guys, Covey, I get it. But Dorian Singer is on a different level right now. Went stupid. So praying that the coaching staff decides to continue to feed Dorian. I know they will. And I know when Cam is back and healthy, he will be dishing it to Dorian after what he's seen him doing on the field. So Micah and Dorian hope they continue to get their proper usage. And who did I just mention? Cam Rising. Let me start with this about Cam Rising. If you are suddenly an anti-Cam Rising individual yourself, or if you are now bashing Cam Rising on Twitter or Instagram, or you're calling him Scam Rising, or you're doing any type of slandering to my man Cam Rising's name, you are not invited to my tailgate. That is all I have to say. Plain and simple. You're not welcome in my tailgate. I don't consider you a true Utah fan. Now, I understand that you're frustrated. I get why it seems like there could be this weird conspiracy theory of, oh, he's totally fine and he's just trying to keep his body healthy and collect a bunch of money and potentially save up for another year of eligibility and then collect more money. It's as simple as if Cam Rising could go out there and play, he would be going out there and playing. This guy wants to play. Trust me, he wants to play. And I also understand the argument of, well, he was medically cleared, right? Just because you're medically cleared, you could go out there. According to a doctor, you're probably fine to go out there. That doesn't mean you're not playing. That doesn't mean you're playing to your full potential still, right? Like an injury that is to the hand that is serious enough to cause multiple weeks of him missing games. Cam would not be missing these games. So that's as simple as it is. No Cam Rising slander. He led us to 2 championships back-to-back. Rose Bowls, okay, maybe they weren't wins in the Rose Bowl, but our first ever Rose Bowl appearance back-to-back. Don't forget about it. Some of the greatest moments we've ever witnessed as Utah fans and might ever, I hope, will exceed higher expectations and reach further goals. But to this point in Utah football history, some of the most magical moments we've ever seen. That was because of Cam Rising. So shut up, plain and simple. If you're going to hate on Cam, just throw all your Utah gear away and find another team or something because we don't want you, as far as I'm concerned. Cam Rising will come back. He will be a difference maker. He will be healthy, and he will lead this team to a lot of wins and ultimately hope. Well, I don't want to jinx anything, but it seems like the perfect setup for one final Cam Magic season, right? 2021, he comes in, saves the day, Pac-12 championship, Rose Bowl. After starting 1-2, comes in, saves the day on that season. 2022, the guy all year long, another Pac-12 championship, another Rose Bowl. Again, goes down in that Rose Bowl, obviously. 2023, yes, maybe he wasn't. It was this guessing game. Oh my God, when is he going to come back? Why are we like? Stop being hung up on that. That season went how that season went. You don't know how his knee was feeling. You weren't in his body. You didn't take a step or a cut the wrong way. You didn't take off on a sprint like he did. You don't know. So stop being hung up on this whole theory, right? I get it. Maybe you think he's fragile. The guy's taking hits, man. He's tough. He's a tough guy. People that say he's soft as glass, it's like, what are you talking about? He's taken some of the nastiest hits we've ever seen on a football field and popped right up from them. USC game, Raylan Goforth. It's evident this guy's a dog. He will be back and he will be healthy. Hopefully this time around, he will be a little bit more cautious when it comes to scrambling outside of the pocket and trying to fight for extra yardage. Hopefully he will learn to slide a little bit or something, but I just don't see that in him. But he will be back. He will make a difference and we will be okay. So stop being so hung up on this rising issue and just put faith in him that when he returns, he will lead us to good things in the rest of his time with us. So that's my soapbox on Cam there. Another guy on the offensive side of the ball, shout out to Caleb Lohner, man. Caleb Lohner is just a cool story, really. I mean, that's just a story you tell where, yeah, this guy literally didn't play football since he was in middle school, Pop Warner. Went and played basketball, was committed to the U, decommitted, went to BYU, went to Baylor, and then transferred back to the U, but for football. And he's tight end 2, if not competing for tight end 1. We saw Isaac Wilson target him quite a handful of times in the Arizona game. I mean, he had the 4th and 2 on the goal line, which again, I think should have gone to Micah, but I get it. Throw it up to the big man. He had the touchdown, and then he had I remember another 3rd down potential conversion where Isaac targeted him and the pass was just a little far off, but Caleb Lohner getting involved, also blocking kicks, just a secret weapon, really one of those like Kyle Whittingham recruiting master classes that you're just like, I don't know how he does it or how he finds these guys, but he found another one. So say what you will about Kyle Whittingham in this current situation. The guy's a recruiter. He can see a football player from miles away. And so shout out to Caleb Lohner for doing his thing. Outside of that, on the offense, I think those are truly the biggest difference makers. I will give some praise here to Isaac Wilson. Young kid, has so much opportunity to learn and grow. He's got a lot of potential. We can see the arm strength is there, right? Got to hone in on the accuracy a little bit, but Isaac Wilson will be a good player. He needs to get a little bit stronger, a little bit more patient, a little bit smarter, a little bit better with the ball. And that kid could be really, really dangerous. Made some incredible plays for us so far. I mean, obviously, maybe in the big key moments, there were some missed opportunities, but for the most part, showed lots of flashes of being a future contender for being a really, really well-established Utah quarterback. So shout out to Isaac Wilson as well. Let's flip to the defense. I think defensively, definitely, it just feels like a Morgan Scalley defense. Truthfully, it feels like every other year there might be one star or so, right? You might look at Junior Tafuna, Keanu, Lander Barton. You might look at, Teo Johnson, these types of guys, but these types of guys were never really set to be big stars. They're just guys that molded into the Utah football program, right? Utah always says, you will become us. We will not become you. These guys are just Utah men, right? They just embrace the role of playing on a Morgan Scalley Utah defense. And so I got, Teo Johnson, let's start there. Shown some really impressive stuff. Got that end zone pick there towards the end of the Arizona game when we needed a turnover. So big play there. So he's a big hitter, right? Some of this, I looked at him and was like, all right, like, he looks a little bit on the skinnier side, kind of like a Vontae Davis kind of build where you're like, oh, that guy's, he's not the thickest dude in the room, but let's see. Can he hit? Oh, he can. All right. Sounds good. So on the other side of the safety position, or shout out to Teo, doing great. I think he's got a lot of potential as well. Alakai playing very well. Also a hard hitter. He's just one of those hard-nosed football players. He's just going to smack the heck out of you. Doesn't matter what the repercussions are or whatever. He's just going to hit you hard. And he's gotten a pick in there too, and so he's doing his thing. Keanu and Junior, man, they've been stuffing the run really well. Still think we could be getting a little bit more pass rush out of them. Shout out to Van Fillinger, who was leading the country in sacks for a while. Still applying really good pressure. Same goes to Connor O'Toole. I don't know why that name slipped me so hard. Both of them are really doing a good job setting the edge, and our interior D-line is still looking pretty good. Just want to overall get a little bit more pressure back there still. So, and it will happen. It will happen as these guys settle in and they start learning which finesse moves work better and stuff like that. So, Yeah, good for those guys too. Cam Calhoun, I'm a big fan. Scooby Davis, man, Scooby's. I met him when he first got to the U, and it feels like it was a little while ago. So I know he's really been waiting on an opportunity as well. Like a lot of these other guys who've been really just waiting in line for their turn. And so Scooby's one of those guys who did a great job, playing on the scout team, and then just worked his way up to saying, "Hey, coach, I can do this." Shout out to Scooby, man. He's been making some great plays, and locking up there. All of our corners for the most part. I know Z's going through, there's a couple games here and there where he might not be on his entire money, on his best game, but Z's a dog. He has been for a while. Zamiah Vaughn will bounce back, and he'll make some huge plays here in the second half of the season. So really not worried about the secondary. I think Smith Snowden's also been doing a great job playing one of the hardest positions on defense in the nickel corner. Smith's been doing really great. That pick against Utah State, outstanding. Just great ball control there. Defense, I am not worried about. As soon as we get these offensive gears turning, and we get the the Cam Rising train off the tracks and outside of the station, we will be okay. But anyway, I just wanted to check in. I feel like there's just too much to talk about right now. Ultimately, I will make this prediction right now here in this chair. If Cam Rising comes back, if and when Cam Rising comes back, we will have no more than one loss for the rest of the season. So I believe that would be a 10-2 or an 11-1 finish with Cam back in the quarterback position. If Isaac stays QB1 for the rest of the year, I think we lose at most 3 more games. And I think those are pretty conservative predictions, but I'm confident that Cam will bounce back, and he will be hungrier than ever to reprove to his fan base. I don't even understand why he would have to feel the need to do that. I don't think he feels the need to have to reprove anything, but he just needs to wake this fan base up and say, "What are y'all talking about? I'm still Cam. Like, I've just been hurt." So once he comes back and starts doing his thing, we're going to be dangerous. 11-1 or 10-2. I think that puts us in the Big 12 championship game. I think it's probably against a Kansas State, or I don't see it being Oklahoma State anymore. I would say probably Kansas State, potentially Arizona. I don't know. We'll see how the season unfolds, but I think we get into that game still, right? We have a really good chance to do so, and then we capitalize and go to the playoffs and give it our all, right? Hopefully, most of our team is still healthy. We will wish everyone and keep them in our prayers for safe games here on out. But yeah, wanted to check back in. Thank you for stopping by, listening to Believe in Utes. I'll be back. I know. I think this setup is going to work a lot better if I can just kind of crank these out really quickly with this minimal camera setup and everything. And so lots of Utah football coverage coming to you very soon. In the meantime, go gas up this team. I know they're fired up. They're ready to get back out there against ASU. Gas them up, man. These are our guys. We're rocking with them. Don't lose faith for any reason. As I always say on here, we got to believe in the Utes. Shout out to Believe Podcast Network for having me on. And go Utes. What are we doing here? Stop complaining. We still got a lot of football left to play. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's enough yapping from me. As always, go Utes. Find me on any podcast platform, on YouTube, on Instagram, jake.popoff. Would love to interact with you guys. Thank you very much. I'll see you soon.